fix my hoodie here. Velvet Tiger Fitness. Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com. Hey, so we're looking at the Olympia, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about every bodybuilding show. I have a newfound love for the sport. I think that the Manions and Weinberger have done an amazing job in making the sport as fair as you can be with a subjective sport, meaning that it's being judged. And they got rid of people who need to be gotten rid of. And my experience so far since coming back has been nothing short of just amazing. And I tip my hat to them. JM Manion, I've done the videos on it. I'm so impressed by these individuals that I just need to say I love you guys. But I also want to state, I don't think Big Ramy's ever going to lose the Mr. Olympia as long as he decides to keep competing, unless he gets an injury or something crazy happens. And I'm going to explain why. But first, I want you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment down below as you hear things that might piss you off or might make you happy, you might agree with or disagree with, okay? Just try not to be mean to me. Okay, here's the deal. Big Ramy is amazing. The man is big. I'm talking big. Like, his legs are another planet. His legs have its own gravitational pull. His upper body is nothing short of astounding, amazing. However, there's a lot of other competitors, including, and bias being brought out, my business partner, Brandon Curry, Nick Walker. You have a lot of guys who are just nipping at his heels. You know, Brandon trying to bring it back. And last year, when Ramy was announced winner, I got to admit, now I was obviously at Brandon's gym in Franklin, Tennessee, Carbon Culture, watching it with a bunch of Brandon's friends. But when Ramy was announced the winner, everybody gasped. Everybody was kind of mad. And it wasn't a slight to Ramy, and it wasn't even a slight to the judges. It was kind of shock that Ramy won that show. And it's not because Ramy isn't a better bodybuilder. It's not because Ramy is a bad person. It's because Ramy was off. Ramy was so off in prejudging, and he was so off at the finals that I don't think he deserved to even place third. Now, Ramy at his best, like Ramy 2020, okay, that guy won the show. I get it. Ramy 2021, in my opinion, shouldn't have won the show. And let me explain why. And I'm going to get into why I think it happened and why it won't happen again, most likely, because he has a great team of coaches who are going to identify what they did wrong. Now, he came into the morning show soft, very watery. Now, for those of you without a trained eye, and for those of you who weren't there in person, now I got this report from people there in person. I wasn't there in person, but obviously if you look at the TV and even look at pictures and you look at Brandon and how crisp and conditioned he was, or even look at the other guys who placed in the top 5, you'll notice a degree of crispness, right? And then you had Ramy, soft, big, kind of like a marshmallow. I mean, just a big fluffy marshmallow. And that's not look, man, you don't come in great all the time. Like, even the greatest pitchers in baseball have a bad game. They could pitch a perfect game on Monday, and they get 10 runs scored against them in the first and second inning on Friday. You have bad days. Bodybuilding is a combination of genetics, training, diet, and then it all has to come together in 1 or 2 days. And you have to do something called peaking. Now, what peaking entails is timing everything. Now, when you're at that level, you have to time drugs. You're timing insulin. You're timing diuretics. You're timing carbs. You're timing all this stuff. And you're trying to get it perfect. And sometimes you just miss. So they missed. At the prejudging, Ramy was soft. And if you saw him and you looked at Brandon and you had no bias, you'd be like, well, that's pretty cut and dry. Hadi, I'm not even going to bring him in the conversation. There was a lot of weird things going on with lumps in his body, and we'll go on that with Ramy later as well. But I don't think they can reward that. Hadi needs to control his sights because there's a lot of weird lumps coming up and down. And it's just weird. And I don't think they're going to reward that. Long story short, Ramy comes in soft. Everybody who can watch the show, who isn't biased, who I know, was like, dude, Brandon's got this, right? And people are telling me because Brandon's one of my best friends. He's my business partner. So anyway, coming to the night show, and Ramy comes in flat. Not a vein or a striation in his body. Like, he was big, but he was flat. And for those of you who can't notice that, who don't have the eye for that, that's fine. My wife has no idea what I'm talking about either. Okay? You don't have, but this is just nitty gritty, just minutia, right? So he came in flat. I thought Brandon was a shoo-in because Brandon looked amazing at prejudging and then looked even better at finals. Abdullah just did a great job, and he knows how to work with Brandon. So what happened, in my opinion, with Ramy is he came in soft, and to get better for the night show, they put in some diuretics and maybe some carbohydrate and cut his water. So when you put in diuretics that are kidney-oriented, like Diazide. Now, Diazide's great if you use it correctly. I've seen it do wonderful things. But the thing is, it's not like losing weight in a sauna where you just get out. If you're dehydrated, you take a cup of water. Once you overdo Diazide and your kidneys get going, you can't stop it. You can drink water all you want. Your body's just going to keep expelling it. You're going to flatter and flatter and flatter. So what I think happened, and again, it's just a guess, I could be 100% wrong, is he came in soft to the morning show. They mistimed his insulin, whatever it was, came into the night show, and they're like, shit, we need to bring this home, so we need to dry him out. So how do you dry someone out? They're not going to put his big ass in a sauna. The heart would explode, right? They're going to go, hey, Ramy, take this pill, right? And his kidneys got working, and he flattened out. That's my opinion of what happened. I could be wrong. It's a guess. It's a guess. But he won. He absolutely won. And I'm not even mad because he's a great bodybuilder. Not even mad. Brandon's not mad. Nobody's mad. Nobody's mad. Sure, it's a lot of money to Brandon. But you know what? We have a great company, 015 Nutrition. We have a great pre-workout, Exalt. We have a non-stim pre-workout, Expansion. The greatest whey hydrolysate in pre- and post-workout shake, and Big Hydro. We're fine. Happy Guts, which is the best gut formula ever created. We're good. Brandon's going to be good. I'm going to make sure as his business partner that Brandon is good. Don't care. Ramy's not going to lose. Ramy's not going to lose. And here's why. Because they're going to bring him in better next year. He might not be the Ramy we saw in 2020, but I know they're not going to mess it up twice. And Ramy could be beaten by Brandon or by Nick Walker or by someone else. And guess what? Doesn't matter. Ramy is the sitting champion. We saw Ronnie Coleman come in and literally get beat by Jay a couple years, in my honest opinion. Come in looking pregnant a couple years. Come in with some really weird things going on a couple years and still win. It's really hard to unseat the Mr. Olympia. Ramy came in so big and ridiculous in 2020 that he beat Brandon. And that's not normal. Now, like Jay Cutler, I think Brandon could come back and win it. But here's why I don't think it's going to happen. We saw Ramy at his worst. Like, we saw Ramy, this is all relative. This is all relative because Ramy is the best bodybuilder in the world right now. Ramy looked terrible. Ramy looked terrible, but the judges rewarded that. Why? Because he's Big Ramy. And he's big. And his fans are loyal. And the judges like what they see in him. And that's why they're the judges and I'm not. And I'm not faulting the judges one bit. But what the judges see isn't what I see. And what they saw is that Ramy's sheer size is more important than the conditioning, symmetry, and everything else that Brandon and other competitors brought to the stage that year. And that's fine. Because bodybuilding is a subjective sport. And if you get into bodybuilding, you complain about judging. You're in the wrong sport. Like when I got third place at North Americans by a couple points, wasn't even mad. I congratulated the guy and I'm happy as a clam. Masters USA, I'm doing on December 11th, man. I'm training my ass off to win. I'm going as hard as I've ever gone in my life. But I understand that I might not win. And win, lose, or tie, or whatever I do, I'm going to go home to my beautiful house, my beautiful wife, my beautiful kids. I'm going to be thankful that I lived to lift another day. Ramy's unbeatable right now because we've seen the worst of Ramy. We have seen Ramy come in at his worst and Brandon Curry come in at his best. Heavier than the year he won the Olympia, harder and sharper and better than, in my opinion, just about everybody I've seen in the last 10 years. Other than Phil Heath at his best. That Brandon Curry I saw last year was the best thing I've ever seen on stage. And I'm biased towards conditioning and shape, but that was amazing. Even if you don't like Brandon, which I don't know how anybody can not like a man who has 4 children and is literally the most amazing, kind, God-fearing individual you ever meet. But you got to admit, the dude brought it. The dude brought it. He brought his legs up, which in his late 30s is unheard of. But Ramy won. I predict another 6 to 10 Olympias for Big Ramy until he gets sick or hurt. And at his size, there's a high probability he's going to get sick and he's going to get hurt, unfortunately. We've seen all these bodybuilders have issues with their hearts and everything. And, you know, with Brandon, I know he takes every precaution in the book. He's very holistic. His wife, Brandy, used to own literally a rejuvenation and health clinic. These people are crazy over-the-top health fanatics. I don't know what Ramy's doing for his health, but the only thing that's going to stop Big Ramy is Big Ramy. But other than that, he's unbeatable. However, I do have a caveat. There's one guy out there. There's one guy out there that's just as big, just as nasty, and just as loved as Big Ramy. And that's Nick Walker. I think Nick Walker is the guy who could take out Big Ramy. And I think he could do it in the next 4 years. Now, I hope I'm wrong. Because from my opinion, I don't like that direction of bodybuilding. But again, I'm not a judge. I'm not in charge. I like seeing a beautiful physique. I like seeing conditioning and symmetry. Ramy, even at his best, doesn't have one striation in his chest. His legs are amazing. No striations. Where you see someone like Brandon or you know, Boniak at his best, you see these guys come in with these beautiful lines and striations and proportions. That's what I want to see in bodybuilding. I think Nick Walker is a good combo, but you know, I do think if they don't shift gears, and if Brandon brings in the package he brought last year and Ramy doesn't get better, then, well, I mean, it's a subjective sport. Then I'm like, okay, he's not beatable. The guy's not beatable. He's just too big. His legs are just absurd. However, 4 years down the road, you give Nick Walker a good 4 years. I talked to Nick, by the way. I'm not worried about his health. Nick's a healthy kid, man. He's smart. Nick is smart. Expect a long, prosperous career for Nick Walker. So next year, what are my predictions? Well, I predict if things go like they did this year, that Ramy's going to win. And I predict that for the year after and the year after and the year after until Nick Walker hits his stride, hits about 30 years old. However, if the judges, they're like, hey, we can't really reward this anymore. We've seen that happen before. Then you'll see another Brandon Curry Olympia. We'll see. I'm excited, guys. Bodybuilding is the best it's ever been. I'm going to cover more of this, you know. I'm so into the sport now. I actually have time. Like, I spent so much time in the last couple years out of the industry building the Outright Bar. The Outright Bar took me on a journey that I never expected to go on. You know, presenting to large brick and mortar stores. Like, we're in H-E-B, we're in Hy-Vee, we're in discussions with Walmart, and we're in Target Online, and we're in all these different places, right? Big Five Sporting Goods, all the gyms. It's crazy. And I had to step away from bodybuilding because I just don't have time. But this channel, I like talking about it. I like discussing it. And it's how we started. And I also want to say, for those of you who've been saying I look small in these videos, I'm good with that. I want to look small. I'm actually around 215 to 220 pounds, biggest I've ever been. And if you don't follow my YouTube channel, I want you to look at my community section where I post my pictures and see my update pictures. I really think you'll get a kick out of them. I've been really making some great gains. If I remember, I'll drop a couple pictures in here. I really appreciate you guys watching, man. Again, I'm good. And someone said in a comment, I read all the comments, that I'm losing my hair. It's actually, my hairline is the same as it's been since I was 15, and I'm growing it out. So expect this thing to make me at least 5'9" by the end of the year. Actually, by the end of next year. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell. Love y'all. God bless. That's not a game. The best booster isn't a shot. It's your natural immune system. Every time we step out into the world, we are attacked by viruses that do their best to break down our defenses. Vita helps solve this problem. Vita contains proven antiviral replication supplements and Imulina to ensure that your body is primed to defend itself against foreign invaders. Don't go another day unprotected. Get your Vita today.